Welcome, distinguished guests, faculty, and graduates, to the 2021 Indiana University School of Medicine virtual graduation. Please stay tuned. The program will start momentarily. Welcome, distinguished guests, faculty, and graduates, to the 2021 Indiana University School of Medicine virtual graduation.
Good afternoon. My name is Dr. Paul Wallach, and I'm Executive Associate Dean for Educational Affairs and Institutional Improvement for Indiana University School of Medicine. On behalf of our faculty and staff, I want to welcome all of you, our students, families, friends, to the commencement ceremony for the class of 2021, albeit virtually, and offer our heartfelt congratulations. Class of 2021, you are a class full of leaders. I have been incredibly impressed by the strength you have shown over the past year, completing your training during a pandemic that has turned our world upside down. To family and friends, we at IU School of Medicine want to express our deep gratitude for all you have done for the class of 2021, especially during a time when every well-laid plan changed significantly. Some time ago, you all entered this institution with hearts and minds ready to begin your fields of study. You have all devoted yourselves to the study of medicine, healthcare, and science. You have all shown care for others, concern for communities, and commitment to healing in its broadest sense. In addition to the task of successfully navigating a challenging curriculum, members of this class have led volunteer efforts during the pandemic, and many have helped vaccinate Hoosiers in clinics across the state. More than half have participated in substantive research. All have provided care for those who are ill and offered their own contribution to the healing of others. Each has continued to advance their own learning, fine-tuning skills, and gaining greater understanding of their roles as physicians, healthcare providers, and scientists. Each one of you recognize that learning is a lifelong enterprise, and you have expressed commitment to that endeavor. 337 medical graduates will continue with residencies in 32 states and in 26 specialties or disciplines. None of the students present could have made it to this point without help. In addition to the family and friends, for our graduates from clinical programs, we owe a debt of gratitude to the patients who permitted you to provide care while learning medicine. Please remember the patients who permitted you into their lives, showing you their vulnerability. As well, you have all been fortunate to have devoted faculty who have taught, mentored, encouraged, and supported you over the last 4 years. Please remember to thank the faculty who taught you. Class of 2021, IU School of Medicine is proud of you. It is our hope you remain close, connected, and care about your medical school and each other as you continue into your careers. As you graduate, you join generations of alumni who are leaders in their communities and innovators in the fields of medicine and biomedical research. I have the utmost confidence you will further their tradition of excellence in every pursuit, and you will do so with the singular spirit of optimism that has long defined our School of Medicine family. And now, it is my pleasure to introduce Dr. Jay Hess, Dean of the School of Medicine and Indiana University's Executive Vice President for University Clinical Affairs. Since joining IU School of Medicine in 2013 as our 10th Dean, Dr. Hess has been a transformative leader. During his tenure, he has overseen more than 95% increase in research funding from the National Institutes of Health, led the school through a comprehensive curriculum reform and successful reaccreditation, and strengthened our faculty practice plan and clinical partnerships. Dean Hess earned his medical and doctorate degrees from the Johns Hopkins University School of Medicine and completed residency training in anatomic pathology and fellowships in hematopathology and surgical pathology at the Brigham and Women's Hospital. He holds a certificate in business administration from the Wharton School of the University of Pennsylvania and a master's degree in health services administration from the University of Michigan School of Public Health. He has held faculty positions at Washington University School of Medicine and the University of Pennsylvania and served for 8 years as chair of the Department of Pathology at the University of Michigan. As both a physician and scientist himself, Dean Hess is driven to improve care for our patients and communities, and he is guided by a commitment to transform health in Indiana and around the world. Please join me in welcoming Dean J. Hess.
On behalf of our faculty and staff, I want to extend a warm welcome to our students, family, and friends for this year's commencement ceremony. It would be an understatement to say this has been a very challenging year. We know that your final year didn't start or end the way you expected. And I'm disappointed that I didn't get a chance to congratulate you in person. I'd like to take a moment and do that now. Whether you've spent your time pursuing a master's, MD, or PhD degree, or some combination of these, I've had the privilege of watching you develop into professionals over the last several years, and especially during the pandemic. I want you all to know how incredibly grateful I am for the way that you have stepped up for the School of Medicine and for our community. After what we've been through the last year, over 500,000 COVID deaths in the U.S. alone, it's frightening to imagine where we would have been if it weren't for public health expertise, good medical care, and the ability to make effective vaccines. I know that you will always remember the past year, and it will serve as a powerful reminder that your work, whether it's caring for patients or research or teaching, matters. Over the last 30 years, we faced an HIV pandemic, Legionnaire's disease, SARS, MERS, Ebola, Zika, and now COVID. And in addition, we face persistent epidemics of chronic diseases, addiction, poor mental health, and health disparities. And to be sure, new health challenges will arise. And when they do, next time, people will be depending on you to lead us through the challenges. You've learned so much over the past several years, but especially how to face down adversity. You've done that admirably, and I'm confident you're ready for what lies ahead. I could not be more proud of you, individually and as a class, and I will be continuing to follow your careers with great interest and pride. I also hope you will thank the people who made a difference for you at the School of Medicine and stay connected with them. Come back to visit and share what your experiences have been so that we can better prepare your colleagues who will follow. Class of 2021, I offer you my heartfelt congratulations and best wishes for what I'm sure will be a very exciting journey ahead. And now it is a privilege to introduce our keynote speaker, Dr. Mona Hanna-Attisha, who is founder and director of the Michigan State University and Hurley Children's Hospital Pediatric Public Health Initiative, an innovative and model public health program in Flint, Michigan. She is also author of What the Eyes Don't See, which details her journey for fighting for justice during the water crisis in Flint, Michigan. With concentrations in environmental health and health policy, Dr. Hanna-Attisha received her bachelor's degree and Master of Public Health degree from the University of Michigan. She completed her medical degree from Michigan State University College of Human Medicine and her residency at Children's Hospital of Michigan in Detroit, where she was chief resident. She is currently a Charles Stewart Mott Endowed Professor of Public Health and an Associate Professor of Pediatrics and Human Development at Michigan State University College of Human Medicine. A pediatrician, scientist, activist, and author, Dr. Hanna-Attisha has testified 3 times before the United States Congress and was awarded the Freedom of Expression Courage Award by PEN America. She was named one of Time magazine's 100 most influential people in the world and recognized as one of USA Today's Women of the Century for her role in uncovering the Flint water crisis and leading recovery efforts, and most recently received the 2020 Freeze Prize for Improving Health. A frequent contributor to national media outlets, including the New York Times and Washington Post, Dr. Hanna-Attisha has appeared on CNN, MSNBC, BBC, and countless other outlets championing the cause of children in Flint and beyond. She is the founding donor of the Flint Child Health and Development Fund. A COVID-19 survivor, Dr. Hanna-Attisha has donated her convalescent plasma several times while continuing to advocate for health and racial equity. Thank you, Dr. Hanna-Attisha, for taking time to share your message with our class of 2021 today.
Hello and congratulations, Indiana University School of Medicine graduates. And congratulations to family, friends, and faculty, all of you who are joining today to share in the celebration of this outstanding achievement. Graduates, I wish I could be with you in person. I know you're the largest medical school in the country, but I still would have loved to go to all 9 campuses and give every single one of you a fist bump or maybe even an elbow bump these days. But please know, I am still so honored to be with you virtually. Consider this my virtual fist bump to all of you. So, these medical school graduation speeches are usually filled with statements like, "Your time is now, we have been waiting for you, and the world needs you." However, this year, today, those words are no longer just words, because now, more than ever, we really have been waiting for you, and the world really does need you. We need you on the wards and in the clinics, in the ORs, in the ERs, and in the ICUs. We need you in research labs, and we need you in the lobbies of our capitals. We need you on TV, and we need you on Twitter. Whether you knew it or not when you started medical school, by taking on a life as a physician, you have placed yourself on the front lines of some of the most important battlegrounds of society today. And I hope now, especially after this past year, that you realize the gravity of what it means to be a doctor. This is the life you've chosen. This is the life we've chosen. Your work is about standing on those front lines every single day, holding those lines against sickness and disease, and also holding those lines against injustice and apathy. You are the light that will illuminate some of our hardest and greatest challenges. We need you in the dark places and in the quiet places. We need you where no one is listening and where others refuse to see. And I realize that may sound overwhelming, but I want you to know that I am standing here in front of you virtually, and I am relieved. I am inspired and hopeful, because in every single one of you, there is the proven strength and resilience to do the hard but necessary things. You have been tested and you have persevered. Besides the usual challenges of medical school, all the studying, the labs, the endless nights, the classes, the exams, step 1, step 2, match, besides all of that, you have also survived shutdowns and toilet paper shortages and Zoom classes, virtual residency interviews, COVID wards. It has been a year like no other, and you have lost so much. Missed birthdays and milestones, personal connections, and some of you have probably even lost loved ones to this deadly pandemic. I'm so sorry. Despite the losses, you have gained something too, because today we are all here celebrating your strength, your perseverance, your ability to overcome the insurmountable. This graduation today is a testament to the fact that you can do hard things. Do not underestimate this accomplishment. We are in the middle of a global pandemic, and you are graduating from medical school. This year has also proven something else. It has proven that in every single one of you, there is a clarity of vision of how the world should be, not the imperfect place that it is. You have been the leading voices for change. Like never before, medicine has stood up for justice, democracy, equality, and opportunity. You have opened your eyes to the inequities that are all around us, inequities that make our patients sick, and you have demanded we can do better. We are healers, and healing means not only providing direct patient care to the people in front of us, but also seeing beyond the obvious and addressing what truly makes our patients healthy. As the pandemic and the events of the past year have made painfully visible, the pre-existing conditions are not just hypertension and obesity, but they are also the pathogens of racism and poverty and gross inequality, early adversity and usurped democracy, lack of access to healthy food, healthy air, and health care. These are some of the upstream threats, the root causes, the underlying diagnoses that put our patients, our communities, and all of us at risk. And this is what ultimately fills our hospital beds, lowers life expectancies, and diminishes our public's health. Rather than making the right diagnosis, we too often reactively band-aid. But now we can't afford to do that anymore. It's not working because our patients continue to die preventable deaths, be it from COVID or from the malignancy of racism. And this is why we are depending on you, why we have been waiting for you, and why the world needs you. And I know there's probably a little voice in your head saying, what is she talking about? That is someone else's job. I can't do that. And that's why I am here today, to prove to you that yes, you can. To remind you that this is why we went into medicine, to heal and to serve, to make the world a better place. You've already proven your strength and your resilience. We know you can do hard things. And my story, the Flint, Michigan story, it is also about doing something that was really hard, that at first seemed impossible. As a pediatrician, my life took a turn I wasn't expecting. Almost all of my patient work was one-on-one. But sometimes the work you choose has other plans for you. Instead of one-on-one, I found myself one on thousands and facing the dire needs of so many. My story, the Flint story, is about another public health crisis. It's about the unthinkable tragedy of people being poisoned by the most basic and necessary thing, by water. It's a story not unlike our current crisis about failing to respect science and public health and failing to protect the most vulnerable among us. What happened in Flint was preventable, but no one stopped it. It was avoidable, but it happened. Making others see was a whole other thing. I ran up against people and entire systems built not to see, even when they did know. It was an indifference, a willful blindness to certain people, problems, and places. And no matter how hard and how scary it seemed, I couldn't close my eyes. I learned something else too. I learned that no one else was coming. I could only go forward. It was my job. Me, a pediatrician, a residency director, a mom, a wife, driving my kids to soccer practices and Girl Scout meetings, juggling a million balls in the air, just like so many of you are now and will be in the future. And my doctor role quickly evolved from clinician educator to detective scientist to patient advocate. I knew that if I was going to make a difference, I would have to prove through science, through research, that our children were in harm's way. And I had to work fast, around the clock, to truly see what was happening. It took a combination of curiosity, a lot of coffee, and clinical data pulled from our medical records to find the truth. And the truth was maddening and heartbreaking. Yes, lead was increasingly in the bodies of our Flint kids. And even as I offered up that scientific proof, my research was met with denials and attacks. And for a quick minute, I regretted using my voice. I began to second guess myself. I was scared and sick. I felt defeated and tiny. After all, I was just one person, one doctor, a small brown immigrant woman, no less, going against powerful forces. I thought to myself, maybe I should have just minded my own business. It would have been easier if I kept my eyes closed and my voice silent. But I quickly realized that this wasn't about me. When you are fighting for your patients, fighting for your community, you have no choice. You do the hard things because they are the right things to do. As you spend your upcoming years on the front lines of medicine, do not forget to everyday ground yourself. Our work is about people. Remind yourself why you chose this most noble profession, why you went to school for what seems like forever, why you wake up in the morning. It's not about the power or the prestige or the paycheck. It is about the people that we are privileged to serve. And for me, as a pediatrician, I remain to this day grounded in our kids. And it was as if those kids jumped out of my research, out of my spreadsheets, pushed me forward, lifted me up, and gave me the courage to speak out against a system that wanted me to stay quiet. And it wasn't just about my Flint kids. It was about kids everywhere, poisoned by inequities, poisoned by the histories and hierarchies that manifest as if their lives don't matter. And we didn't just raise our voices. We fought back with science and stories. Remember, every patient encounter is a powerful story. Share those stories, of course, in a HIPAA-protected way. And it took a while, but finally our persistence and our teamwork, our science and our stories helped uncover the crisis. And since then, we have been on a path towards recovery, turning crisis into opportunity. And as much as what happened in Flint is a story of a crime committed with absolute indifference against some of the most vulnerable people in this country, it is also a story of medicine walking out of our hospital doors, working hand in hand with the communities that we are privileged to serve, to challenge the status quo, to make a difference. Because that's what being a doctor is all about. Being a doctor means being a protector of health. Sometimes that means holding the hand of an isolated COVID patient whose life is slipping away. And sometimes that means being on guard for a city that's being poisoned. Sometimes that means embedding housing insecurity screening and voter registration in the electronic medical record. And sometimes that means meeting with policymakers about anti-poverty legislation. One lesson you must take away from my story is that your medical degree grants you stature in your community. It gives you gravitas. With that long white coat comes power and privilege and credibility. It makes you a respected expert in an era where many professions are not held in high regard. My MD was a megaphone for the kids of Flint. And I used it, and I was loud and stubborn and persistent. And it was ultimately the voice of medicine that changed the trajectory of an entire city. From this day on, you are all entrusted to be the voice of health. I urge you to use the tools you learned here and the tools you will continue to acquire because our work is absolutely about lifelong learning. I urge you to keep your eyes open, to see beyond the patient in front of you, to stay vigilant, to remain curious, to keep doing the hard things for the right reasons, because our collective work is unfinished. Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. said, "Of all the forms of inequality, injustice in health is the most shocking and inhumane." We have a lot of health injustices that still need solving, like eliminating poverty, eradicating racism, narrowing inequality, preventing pandemics, reversing the climate crisis, preserving our fragile democracy, and ensuring healthcare for all. Our communities cannot afford to have the guardians of medicine shut their eyes, look away, and stay silent to the injustices that threaten the health of our patients. As MLK also said, the arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends towards justice. And I want to share with you today that it doesn't bend on its own. Today, like never before, we are in a generation-defining moment. That arc is bending. It's being pushed and pulled, especially by young people. But only time will tell in which direction it will bend. And that is why we have been so desperately waiting for you. Why the world needs you now more than ever. With you out there, soon to be wearing all the different hats of medicine as pediatricians and pathologists, internists and intensivists, surgeons and subspecialists and everything in between, we will bend that arc towards justice together. And we will successfully diagnose and treat the pathogens of yesterday and today. And the tomorrow that we build together will be healthier, more equitable, and more just. And we will heal. We will heal our patients, but we will also heal our communities and our nation. Congratulations, doctors. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Hannah Atisha, for your advocacy, for your insight, and for your service. We will now acknowledge our 2021 graduates. We will begin with our Master of Science in Medical Science graduates, presented by Vicki Bonds, Director of Pipeline and Predoctoral Programs at IU School of Medicine.
It is my honor to announce the class of 2021 Master of Science in Medical Science graduates. Jai L. Horsey, Brian Mourinho Capistan, Ana Oriolsko Davila, Liliana Patino, Jonathan Robles Linares, Taylor Strain, Sean Elliott Taylor, Heavenly Deshante Webb, Jalen Simone Williams. This concludes our Master of Science in Medical Science graduates. We will continue with the Master of Science and doctoral degrees in our graduate division. I would like to invite Dr. Tatiana Faroud, Associate Vice President of Research and University Clinical Affairs.
Good morning. It's an honor and privilege to confer graduate-level degrees on our students who have chosen to pursue studies in a wide variety of research areas on which the practice of medicine depends. This research helps advance our understanding and treatment of the most devastating diseases of our time, including Alzheimer's disease, cancer, and diabetes. Our graduates are at the forefront, serving in labs that work to develop new therapies and deepen our knowledge of basic science. We hope the discoveries our graduates make in the future will translate from the bench to the bedside, ultimately improving patient care. We will begin with Masters of Science degrees. Dr. Thomas Hurley, who serves as the Associate Dean for Research and Graduate Education, will assist.
Master of Science in Clinical Research. Vijay R. Yamina Jawade. Sunu Matthew. Luke McVeigh. Sentil Pak-e-Sab Bapathi. Emily Scott. Master of Science. Anne Abel. Aliyah Umud. Lauren Nicole Allman. April Barnard. Michelle Emmy Bartlett. Nathan Becker. Joseph Biddle. Isabella Elaine Bowling. Robert Brenner. Ian Burke. Sean Caldwell. Gina Chang. Nicole Yvonne A. Cortez. Pia Desgatak. Eric Demro. Kelsey Doyle. Stephen I. Estes. Zachariah Itaki, Nathan Graff, Derek Gray, Alexis Higgins, Cody Hostetler, Zoe Hull, Subin Karki, Vasilios Kazaitis, Mahin Khan, Priya Kirtley, Megan E. Kruski, Emma Love, Jared Lovins, Philip Lazanowski, Amy Dylan Margolin, Jade Martin, Jackie Mon, Natalie Mikhailov, Brianna Ogle, Krina Patel, Kelly Rose Pillar, Bethany A. Pollock, Lauren Pratt, Brian Pulaski, Kalissa Remond, Brooke Elizabeth Richardson, Gitanjali Roy, Christopher Lewis Royer, Jillian Runyon, Howdy Shakir, Angela Simpson, William Snyder, Taylor St. Jakes, Alexis Steele, Brooke Stefanian, Sonali Thakur, Abigail Thompson, Melissa Ulmer, Rena F. Van Duzer, Maxwell Warr, Leo Watson, Jacob Wood, Gloria Sheue, PhD graduates, Mohammed Al-Kahuli, Medical and Molecular Genetics, Jonathan Bettinger, Anatomy and Cell Biology, William Blakely, Biochemistry and Molecular Biology, Victor Hugo Conella, Anatomy and Cell Biology, Carmen DeVoe, Pharmacology, Yongyao Fu, Microbiology and Immunology, Shannon Helbling, Anatomy and Cell Biology, Kylie Jacobs, Microbiology and Immunology, Tanner Jacobson, Medical and Molecular Genetics, Rukshan P. Kurwadkar, Biochemistry and Molecular Biology, Rebecca R. Miles, Biochemistry and Molecular Biology, Brianna E. Mork, Medical Neuroscience, Jahil Patel, Medical Neuroscience. Ebony Shaw Williams, Medical and Molecular Genetics. Xavier Taylor, Medical Neuroscience. Agnes Zybura, Medical Neuroscience.
We have 8 students with us today who are completing the arduous medical scientist training program that requires extensive study and additional credit hours in order to receive a combined degree, a Doctor of Medicine as well as a Doctor of Philosophy. For the past 19 years, our Indiana University Medical Scientist Training Program has maintained a unique partnership with the Weldon School of Biomedical Engineering at Purdue University to foster the development of physician biomedical engineers as well as physician scientists. Our Doctor of Medicine and Doctor of Philosophy graduates include Catherine Deanne Andrews, Doctor of Philosophy in Medical Neuroscience, Residency in Psychiatry at Mayo Clinic School of Graduate Medical Education, recipient of the Department of Psychiatry Patricia A. Sharpley Award. Mohammed Waleed Arif, Doctor of Philosophy in Anatomy and Cell Biology, Residency in Surgery at Johns Hopkins Hospital, recipient of the Department of Surgery Dr. and Mrs. John N. Pittman Surgery Award, the Janice M. Pascuzzi Award, and the Patricia A. Keener Service Learning Award. Brittany Bungart, Doctor of Philosophy in Biomedical Engineering from Purdue University, Residency in Anesthesiology on a prime research track at Massachusetts General Hospital. Abbas Kanthi, Doctor of Philosophy in Biochemistry and Molecular Biology, Residency in Radiation Oncology at Stanford University. Brian A. Grice, Doctor of Philosophy in Cellular and Integrative Physiology, Residency in Emergency Medicine at Amita Resurrection Medical Center. Eric Hawley, Doctor of Philosophy in Biochemistry and Molecular Biology, Residency in Pediatrics at Washington University in St. Louis. Kevin Chen Ni, Doctor of Philosophy in Biochemistry and Molecular Biology, Residency in Internal Medicine, Primary Care at the University of Colorado Denver Health. Elizabeth Runge, Doctor of Philosophy in Anatomy and Cell Biology, Residency in Physical Medicine and Rehabilitation at the University of Pittsburgh Medical Center, recipient of the Department of Pharmacology K.K. Chen Award.
And now we come to recognition of our military match graduates, a truly outstanding group who have made a commitment of service to our country. Upon graduation, these doctors are commissioned as either a captain in the Air Force or as a lieutenant in the Navy. These officers will enter residency training and will follow with military service thereafter. We are extremely proud of our military match graduates. Thank you for your service to our country. Our graduates being commissioned as a captain in the United States Air Force include Alan Betts, Carlos Risic Martinez Licha, Sarina Maso Maldonado, David Samuel Joseph Malay. Our graduates being commissioned as a lieutenant in the United States Navy include Matthew Marcy and Connor Priddy. I also want to recognize our Scholarly Concentration Program graduates. The Scholarly Concentration Program offers a longitudinal extracurricular experience through medical school that combines topic-specific coursework and a scholarly project in a topic of personal interest, resulting in submitting a manuscript for publication. Students gain valuable skills that will serve them throughout their careers. It is with great pleasure that we celebrate the graduation of the first 6 IU School of Medicine students who have earned Scholarly Concentrations Program designations. They are the first to complete this program, just started 2 years ago. They began the program during their clerkship training, and they navigated through the disruption of COVID-19. 3 each completed the scholarly concentrations in business of medicine and public health. I am so proud of and grateful for these learners. They are true pioneers and have led the way for more than 200 of their colleagues who are currently enrolled in the Scholarly Concentrations program. These graduates include Stephen Daniel Avila, Business of Medicine; Phoebus Sun Cao, Business of Medicine; Matthew Geiser, Business of Medicine; Helen Wu Lee, Public Health; Rebecca Roll, Public Health; Sushuma Yarlagada, Public Health. And now, we will announce our class of 2021 medical degree graduates. As the names of our graduates are read, we will be announcing the recipients of annual awards given to graduating seniors by IU School of Medicine and its various departments. These recipients are all very deserving and will receive their certificates and plaques in the near future. Although we are not together in person, we would like to call attention to 2 additional distinctions that accompany this ceremony. We hope that our graduates will have an opportunity to share and keep these honors displayed in the form of cords in recognition of their hard work. First, the green and gold Alpha Omega Alpha Medical Honor Society cords designate Doctor of Medicine students who are graduating with the highest academic distinctions. Gold honor cords designate Doctor of Medicine students who are graduating with highest distinction for humanism in medicine. These will be indicated on each slide for students who have received these distinctions.
It is my privilege to announce our class of 2021 medical degree graduates. I will share this privilege with my colleagues, Drs. Emily Walvard, Paul Coe, and Maureen Harrington. For each graduate, we will read the name of their specialty and residency location. We will also announce award recipients. Nnamdi Achibe, Anesthesia, University of Florida College of Medicine. Grant Adams, Pediatrics, Spectrum Health, Michigan State University. Stephanie Ajay, Emergency Medicine, Internal Medicine, University of Maryland Medical Center. Recipient of the ACEP Medical Student Professionalism and Service Award in Emergency Medicine. Evan Alexander, Anesthesia, Riverside Community Hospital. Dana El Hafar, Internal Medicine, Indiana University School of Medicine. Lena Ajobe, Family Medicine, Indiana University School of Medicine, Arnett. Jacob Applegarth, General Surgery, Beaumont Health, Royal Oak. Maz Arif, Internal Medicine, Wright State University, Boonshoft School of Medicine. Samuelu Atoa, Anesthesia, University of Utah Health. Joseph Atamoya, Radiology, University of Miami, Jackson Health System. Stephen Avila, Neurology, Cedar Sinai Medical Center. Shivani Bajpai Budve, General Surgery, Anne Arundel Medical Center. Adolfo Baez, Neurology, University of South Florida. Uzma Barami, Internal Medicine, Pediatrics, Baylor College of Medicine, recipient of the Department of Medicine John B. Hickam Award. Kadra Bailey, Obstetrics and Gynecology, University of Tennessee, Memphis. Eric Bain, Internal Medicine, Indiana University School of Medicine. Joseph Baker, Physical Medicine and Rehabilitation, University of Texas Southwestern. Seth Baker, Emergency Medicine, the University of Toledo. Lucas Banter, Internal Medicine and Pediatrics, University of Louisville School of Medicine. Maria Barrios, Neurology, Mayo Clinic, Florida. Zachary Berry, Ophthalmology, Indiana University School of Medicine. Aaron Becker, Psychiatry, Indiana University School of Medicine.
Julia Barron, Pediatrics, Northwestern University, Lurie Children's.
Alan Betts, Diagnostic Radiology, San Antonio Military Medical Center. Dylan Bieber, Anesthesia, Medical University of South Carolina. Brady Bowles, Anesthesia, Indiana University School of Medicine. Vivian Bors, Obstetrics and Gynecology, Spectrum Health, Michigan State University. Daniel Boyes, Emergency Medicine, Case Western Metro Health Medical Center. Abby Braun, Internal Medicine, University of Colorado School of Medicine. Abigail Brenner, Pediatrics, Children's Hospital of Los Angeles, recipient of the Department of Pediatrics Lyman T. Meeks Clinical Award and the IU School of Medicine Dean's Award. John Brinkman, Urology, Indiana University School of Medicine. Cameron Brown, Diagnostic Radiology, St. Louis University School of Medicine. Marissa Bruce, Internal Medicine, Ohio State University Medical Center. Jessica Schreyrort Boone, Family Medicine, Mercy Health, Anderson Hospital. Kendall Burgett, Otolaryngology, University of Utah Health. Emily Cage, Orthopedic Surgery, University of Toledo, recipient of the Department of Orthopedic Surgery Diversity Award. Grant Callan, Pediatrics, Indiana University School of Medicine. Jarrett Campbell, Anesthesia, University of Texas Southwestern. Michaela Campbell, Obstetrics and Gynecology, Sparrow, Michigan State University, recipient of the Janice M. Pescuzzi Award. Vincent Campiti, Otolaryngology, Indiana University School of Medicine.
Gustavo Ithran Carvajal, Neurology, University of Pittsburgh Medical Center.
Paige Cassidy, Internal Medicine Pediatrics, Spectrum Health, Michigan State University. Carly Chappelle, General Surgery, University of Toledo. Carter William Harold Chase, Family Medicine, Fort Wayne Medical Education Program. Charles Chapman, Jr., Family Medicine, University of Mississippi Medical Center. Monica Chang, Diagnostic Radiology, Massachusetts General Hospital, recipient of the IU School of Medicine Office of Diversity Affairs Excellence in Service Award. Philip Chang, Pediatrics, Nationwide Children's Hospital. Kayla Chin, Neurosurgery, Southern Illinois University School of Medicine, recipient of the Julius M. Goodman Scholarship. Megan Chu, General Surgery, Case Western Reserve University, University Hospitals, recipient of the IU School of Medicine Dean's Award. Jennifer Cho, Obstetrics and Gynecology, University of Hawaii, recipient of the Janice M. Pescuzzi Award. Diane Choi, anesthesia, University of Miami, Jackson Health System. Laura Christopher, general surgery, Florida Atlantic University. Alex Chiselski, anesthesia, University of Chicago Medical Center. Colette Cerisi, anesthesia, Vanderbilt University Medical Center. Tori Klaus, internal medicine, University of Michigan Hospitals. Anna Cole, neurodevelopmental disabilities, Indiana University School of Medicine. Lauren Comer, internal medicine, Baylor College of Medicine. Erin Koslow, anesthesia, Indiana University School of Medicine. Marley Cruz, diagnostic radiology, Northwestern University. David Crook, emergency medicine, Trident Medical Center, South Carolina. Jean Ann Crowley, diagnostic radiology, Indiana University School of Medicine. Carrie Ann Comiskey, obstetrics and gynecology, Cleveland Clinic, Akron General. Megan Cusack, pediatrics, Phoenix Children's Hospital. Elizabeth Davis, family medicine, Providence Sacred Heart Medical Center. Jacob Davis, emergency medicine, University of North Carolina Hospitals, recipient of the Society for Academic Emergency Medicine 2021 Excellence in Emergency Medicine Award. Kyle Davis, otolaryngology clinical research fellowship at University of Arkansas for Medical Sciences. Kayla Delaney, pediatrics, Johns Hopkins All Children's Hospital. Jessica Delgado, urology, University of Miami Miller School of Medicine. Catherine Dorset, neurology, Spectrum Health, Michigan State University. Anthony Dwayne Douglas II, general surgery, University of Chicago Medical Center, recipient of the Department of Surgery Dr. and Mrs. John N. Pittman Surgery Award, Department of Surgery Indiana Chapter of the American College of Surgeons Award, and the Office of Diversity Affairs George H. Rawls Exemplary Scholar Award. Anna Dudley, internal medicine, St. Vincent's Hospital. Sophia Dueño, general surgery, University of Florida College of Medicine. Cameron Duffner, neurology, Indiana University School of Medicine. Clarence Edward Dukes, diagnostic radiology, University of Illinois at Chicago. James Easter, neurology, Southern Illinois University School of Medicine. Allison Etling, internal medicine, pediatrics, University of Louisville School of Medicine. Katerina Fabre, internal medicine, Mayo Clinic School of Graduate Medical Education. Alexander Farmer, anesthesia, University of Illinois at Chicago College of Medicine. Devin Fetters, internal medicine, Indiana University School of Medicine Southwest. Rick Faust, internal medicine, University of Alabama Medical Center. I now invite Dr. Emily Walvard, Associate Dean of Student Affairs.
Thank you, Dr. Allen. I am truly honored to continue this recognition of our graduates. Cynthia Francis, Physical Medicine and Rehabilitation, University of Alabama Medical Center. Brandon Francis, Internal Medicine, Cleveland Clinic Foundation, recipient of the Indiana State Medical Association Future Physician Leader Award. Brian Frondorf, Colin M.E. Fry, Neurology, Rush University Medical Center. Sean Michael Gabriel, Family Medicine, Ascension St. Vincent. Eric Mitchell Galante, Psychiatry, Emory University School of Medicine. Nicholas Stephen Galuzis, General Surgery, University of Arizona Tucson, recipient of the Department of Surgery Dr. and Mrs. John N. Pittman Surgery Award. Hannah Michaela Moore Garcia, Pediatrics, Indiana University School of Medicine. Ian Gachel, Emergency Medicine, Beaumont Health. Ruben Gearart, General Surgery, Indiana University School of Medicine. Matthew H. Geiser, Anesthesia, Cleveland Clinic Foundation. Rolando Herrera, Diagnostic Radiology, University of Colorado. Jesse Robert Gettinger, Family Medicine, Memorial Hospital, South Bend. Daniel Patrick Gibson, Anesthesia, Indiana University School of Medicine. Maria Manuela Gil Capello, Obstetrics and Gynecology, Maimonides Medical Center, recipient of the Janice M. Pascuzzi Award. Kenzie Lynn Glassburn, Obstetrics and Gynecology, St. Luke's Hospital. Maritza Gomez, Pediatrics, University of California, San Francisco. Austin Greer, Anesthesia, Ohio State University Medical Center. Sarah Griffin, Family Medicine, University of Colorado School of Medicine. Anne Genevieve Grisoli, Emergency Medicine, University of Cincinnati Medical Center. Benjamin Haggard, Emergency Medicine, Indiana University School of Medicine. Troy Hale, Loyola University. Claire Elise Hall, Neurology, University of North Carolina Hospitals. Jordan Everett Hatch, Family Medicine, St. Joseph Regional Medical Center. Catherine Havard, Neurology, Cleveland Clinic Foundation, recipient of the Department of Neurology Alexander Treloar Ross Award. Brandon Joseph Hebert, Internal Medicine, University of Louisville School of Medicine. Nicholas Martin Heitkamp, Pediatrics, Eastern Virginia Medical School. Justin Robert Hendricks, Interventional Radiology, Emory University School of Medicine. Emily Hentz, Internal Medicine, Pediatrics, Indiana University School of Medicine. Jamel Gregory Hill, Physical Medicine and Rehabilitation, University of Kentucky Medical Center. Eileen Hoffman, Diagnostic Radiology, Indiana University School of Medicine. Jarrell Gabe Holland, Anesthesia, University of Illinois Chicago. Matthew Hollowell, Internal Medicine, Pediatrics, Spectrum Health, Michigan State University. Kobe Horlick, Neurology, University of Pittsburgh Medical Center, Hammett. Jonathan Clark Hosty, Family Medicine, Indiana University School of Medicine. Gage Tyler Howard, Diagnostic Radiology, University of Virginia. Stephen Hu, Neurology, University of Washington Hospitals. Christina Claire Huang, Radiation Oncology, Duke University. Audrey Hull, Pediatrics, Nationwide Children's Hospital. Omar Hussein, Physical Medicine and Rehabilitation, Temple University Hospital. Taina Hippolyte, Neurology, University of Miami. Sarah Islam, Psychiatry, Hennepin Healthcare Regions Hospital. Annalise Jacobs, Pediatrics, Indiana University School of Medicine. Shay Jansen, Obstetrics and Gynecology, Indiana University School of Medicine, recipient of the Gerald Bebko Award for Excellence in Professionalism and the Richard S. Hansel, MD Award for Outstanding Senior Student Teaching in Obstetrics and Gynecology. Nathan Patrick Jarrett, Physical Medicine and Rehabilitation, Indiana University School of Medicine. Marissa Ann Jasinski, Anesthesia, University of Iowa Hospitals and Clinics. Christopher Jenks, Anesthesia, Vanderbilt University Medical Center. Hannah Marie Jennings, Anesthesia, University of North Carolina. Guadalupe Jimenez, Emergency Medicine, New York Presbyterian, Columbia and Cornell. Olivia Johnson, Emergency Medicine, Indiana University School of Medicine. Bailey Nicole Johnson, General Surgery, Indiana University School of Medicine, recipient of the Department of Family Medicine Global Citizen Award. Sandra Renee Jones, Internal Medicine, University of Miami, Jackson Memorial Hospital. Jordan Raymond Jones, Family Medicine, St. Joseph Regional Medical Center, South Bend. Alexandra Lynn Jostes, Pediatrics, Children's Hospital of Los Angeles. Nicholas Elias Kalafatis, Ocular Oncology Research Fellowship, Wills Eye Hospital, recipient of the Linda Means Award. Matthew Keenan, Internal Medicine, Johns Hopkins Bayview. Courtney Kyleman, Internal Medicine, University of California, San Diego, recipient of the Department of Family Medicine Global Citizen Award. Ariba Khalid, Diagnostic Radiology, Indiana University School of Medicine. Humaira Tasneem Khan, Internal Medicine, Indiana University School of Medicine. Adrian Kanolker, Family Medicine, Lifelong Medical Care, recipient of the Spirit of Excellence Award for Community Service and Leadership in Family Medicine. Maria Klebnikova, Anesthesia, Stanford University Medicine. Daniel Renner Kim, Family Medicine, Michigan State University. Maxwell Kirschner, Internal Medicine, Creighton University School of Medicine. Adam Joseph Clem, Family Medicine, Community Health Network. Catherine Klemkowski, Pediatrics, Indiana University School of Medicine, recipient of the Janice M. Pascuzzi Award. Cutter James Kaler, Internal Medicine, University of Nevada, Reno School of Medicine. Daniel Richard Kotfer, Neurology, Indiana University School of Medicine. Caleb Allen Kramer, Emergency Medicine, University of Texas Southwestern. Kent Ryan Krause, Orthopedic Surgery, Indiana University School of Medicine. Victoria Alexandra Creighton, Internal Medicine, Ohio State University Medical Center. Elizabeth Marie Krilich, General Surgery, University of South Alabama, recipient of the Gerald Bebko Award for Excellence in Community Service. Sabrina Kroger, Psychiatry, University of Chicago Medical Center. Stephanie Kuhlman, Internal Medicine, Hennepin Healthcare Medical Center. Namisha Kumar, Obstetrics and Gynecology, Aurora Healthcare, recipient of the IU School of Medicine Office of Diversity Affairs Excellence in Research Award. Anne Newby Coons, Family Medicine, St. Vincent Hospital. Nathan Lamb, Diagnostic Radiology, University of Southern California. Jason Navarro Lamb. Christopher Joseph Lee, Internal Medicine, University of North Carolina School of Medicine. Deborah Lee, Internal Medicine, Virginia Mason Medical Center. Regina Jiwon Lee, Pediatrics, Children's Hospital of Los Angeles. I now invite Dr. Paul Coe, Associate Dean for Curricular Development and Oversight.
Thank you, Dr. Walvard. It is my honor and privilege to recognize the class of 2021. Helen Wu Lee, General Surgery, Washington University School of Medicine. Recipient of the Department of Surgery, Dr. and Mrs. John N. Pittman Surgery Award. Rebecca Maria Liebel, Family Medicine, University of Wisconsin School of Medicine and Public Health. Recipient of the Spirit of Excellence Award for Community Service and Leadership in Family Medicine. Nicole Sarah Lee Lindsay, Obstetrics and Gynecology, Henry Ford Hospital. Michelle Marie Linksweiler, Pediatrics, Indiana University School of Medicine. Alexa Joe Longcharge, Internal Medicine, Washington University in St. Louis. Recipient of the Salutatorian Award. Samuel Lawrence, Orthopedic Surgery, Duke University Medical Center. Recipient of the Dr. William Capello Outstanding Fourth Year Orthopedic Medical Student Award. Harrison Love, Diagnostic Radiology, University of Pittsburgh Medical Center. Samuel Thomas Lobe, Internal Medicine, Northwestern University. Mario Luna Inuhosa, Internal Medicine, Indiana University School of Medicine. Mackenzie K. Madison, Vascular Surgery, Indiana University School of Medicine. Recipient of the Dolores Currit Memorial Scholarship. Josh Mann, Anesthesia, University of Virginia. Joyce Mannion, Pediatrics, Children's Hospital of Michigan. Matthew Keith Marcy. Carlos Rishik Martinez Licha, Internal Medicine, San Antonio Military Medical Center. Serena Masu Maldonado, Diagnostic Radiology, San Antonio Military Medical Center. Charles Matthias, Psychiatry, Indiana University School of Medicine. Kyle McAway, Internal Medicine, Henry Ford Hospital. Mackenzie Chung-Yang McGrath, Anesthesia, Medical College of Wisconsin. Elizabeth A. McIntyre, Family Medicine, Central Michigan University College of Medicine. Raphael Elias Mershu, Anesthesia, Indiana University School of Medicine. Joshua James Mifflin, Pediatrics, University of Iowa Hospitals and Clinics. David Millay, Otolaryngology, Walter Reed Military Medical Center. Kayla Janae Miller, Internal Medicine, Duke University Medical Center, recipient of the Department of Anatomy John Barnhill Human Structure Award. Casey Miller, Family Medicine, Ascension St. Vincent. Kaylee Miller, Family Medicine, Community Hospital Network. Chelsea Miller, Emergency Medicine, Yale New Haven Hospital. Julia Milliken, Pediatrics, Warren Alpert Medical School of Brown University. Anthony Julian Milto. Daniel Quinn Minter, Family Medicine, St. Joseph Regional Medical Center. Cheyenne Miranda, Emergency Medicine, Trident Medical Center. Wajma Mirzoy, Internal Medicine, Pediatrics, Tulane University School of Medicine. Kaylina Mishoik, Neurology, University of Virginia. Chandler Mitchell, Ophthalmology, Indiana University School of Medicine. Alejandro Mangalo, Internal Medicine, Charles R. Drew University of Medicine and Science. Lucas Edward Morgan, Pediatric Neurology, University of Colorado School of Medicine. Shelby Morrison, Family Medicine, Franciscan Health. Hunter Mune. Taylor Leah Munch, Family Medicine, St. Joseph Hospital, Chicago. Mumtaz A. Munshi, Dermatology, Indiana University School of Medicine. David Joseph Mushi, Anesthesia, Indiana University School of Medicine. Amit Nag, Otolaryngology, Cleveland Clinic Foundation. Shirley Nicole Newman, General Surgery, Indiana University School of Medicine. Hervé Nunga Ingwe. William Timothy Northquist, Internal Medicine, Pediatrics, Indiana University School of Medicine. Obi Woshu, Otolaryngology, Harvard Medical School, Mass Eye and Ear, recipient of the Department of Otolaryngology Edward C. Weisberger, MD Award. Chigozie Nosu, Emergency Medicine, Medical University of South Carolina. Celestina Okoye, Dermatology, Northwestern University. Sarah Wyatt Olson, Pediatrics, Medical University of South Carolina. Ibrahim Omar, Anesthesia, Mayo Clinic School of Graduate Medical Education. Corey Xavier Ormachea, Internal Medicine, Indiana University School of Medicine. Zachary G. Osborne, Neurology, University of Chicago Medical Center, recipient of the American Academy of Neurology Medical Student Award for Excellence in Neurology. Cyril Priscilla Pablo, Neurology, Indiana University School of Medicine. Shivani Parikshak, Pediatrics, St. Louis University School of Medicine. Chirag Bharat Patel, Anesthesia, Northwestern University. Jamin Pakul Patel, Internal Medicine, St. Rita Medical Center. Rashini Patel, Pediatrics, Johns Hopkins Hospital. Samuel Patterson. Alexander Woodford Peters, Internal Medicine, Indiana University School of Medicine. Arisha S. Peters, Obstetrics and Gynecology, University of Florida College of Medicine. Whitney Kathleen Phillips, Pediatrics, Indiana University School of Medicine, recipient of the Department of Pediatrics Lyman T. Milks Research Award. Angela Marie Pikus, Emergency Medicine, Carolinas Medical Center. Wilson Pittman, Emergency Medicine, Lewis Gale Medical Center. Connor Thorne Chadwick Priddy, Transitional Year, Crozier Chester Medical Center. Victor Mercury Progar, Anesthesia, Indiana University School of Medicine. Luke Allen Pryke, Internal Medicine, Indiana University School of Medicine. Christina Raghanandan, Psychiatry, University of Michigan Hospitals. Eric Regele, Urology, Mayo Clinic, Jacksonville. Ryan Regley, Anesthesia, Indiana University School of Medicine. Thomas James Riley, Diagnostic Radiology, Wayne State University, Detroit Medical Center. Brooks Stephen Rodabaugh, Diagnostic Radiology, Wake Forest Baptist Medical Center. Robert Michael Rodriguez, Internal Medicine, University of Illinois at Chicago. Joshua David Rosner, Family Medicine, University of Utah Health. Anna Rossler, Pediatrics, Jacobi Medical Center, Einstein College of Medicine. Rebecca Roll, Internal Medicine, Pediatrics, University of Rochester Strong Memorial. Dean's Award, recipient of the class of 1985 and Todd B. Taylor Leadership Award. Nathaniel G. Rollison, Family Medicine, Sowen Medical Center, Ohio. Daniel Robert Romano, Otolaryngology, Washington University School of Medicine, recipient of the Department of Otolaryngology Edward C. Weisberger MD Award. Brad Evan Rubensick, Dermatology, Indiana University School of Medicine. Sidney Reichman, Pediatrics, University of Michigan Hospitals. Lauren McQuinn Saint, Internal Medicine, Pediatrics, Indiana University School of Medicine. Chase Salazar, Family Medicine, Advocate Healthcare. Jaslyn Sundu, Internal Medicine, Loyola University Medical Center. Caitlin Marie Sawyer, Internal Medicine, University of Colorado School of Medicine. Mackenzie Saxton, Anesthesia, University at Buffalo School of Medicine. Congratulations. I now invite Dr. Maureen Harrington, Associate Dean for Medical Student Education, Foundational Sciences.
Thank you, Dr. Coe. I wish the class of 2021 great success as we recognize them today. Anna Scalzo matched in Family Medicine at Amita Health St. Mary and Elizabeth Medical Center. Zach Schell matched in Anesthesia at University of Nebraska Medical Center. Nathan Edward Schleinkoffer matched in Neurology at New York Presbyterian Weill Cornell. Nathan is a recipient of the Department of Anatomy John Barnhill Neuroscience and Behavior Award and the Valedictorian and Marcus Rovden Medal Award. Christian Maximilian Schmidt II matched in Orthopedic Surgery at University of South Florida. Adam Schmitz matched in Interventional Radiology, Indiana University School of Medicine. Paige Ann Schultes matched in Obstetrics and Gynecology at Indiana University School of Medicine. Ariana Setagot matched in Anesthesia at Northwestern University. Nicole Louisa Shamus matched in Internal Medicine at University of Colorado School of Medicine. Mitra Sharif matched in Obstetrics and Gynecology at Washington University in St. Louis. Mitra is the recipient of the Department of Obstetrics and Gynecology Roy Norman Reithart Memorial Award. Andrew Shern matched in Anesthesia at Indiana University School of Medicine. Alexandra Silva matched in Pediatrics at Indiana University School of Medicine. Alexandra is the recipient of the Department of Pediatrics Tina Kwan Award. Blake Simon matched in Anesthesia at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center. Sandeep Singh matched in Internal Medicine at Indiana University School of Medicine. Dana Edward Skold matched in Emergency Medicine at Einstein Healthcare Network. Peter Sleva matched in Family Medicine at Community Hospital Network. Peter is the recipient of the Department of Family Medicine Award. Aaron Hayden Smith matched in Internal Medicine at Ascension St. Vincent. Ryan Christopher Smith matched in Internal Medicine at University of Illinois College of Medicine. Ryan is the recipient of the Janice M. Pascuzzi Award. Catherine Diane Snyder matched in Internal Medicine and Pediatrics at Vanderbilt University School of Medicine. Catherine is a recipient of the Department of Medicine Student Service Award. Michael T. Spears, Jr. matched in Anesthesia at Indiana University School of Medicine. Teresa Speck matched in Emergency Medicine at Indiana University School of Medicine. Jacob Robert Spybrook matched in Orthopedic Surgery at Case Western Reserve University Hospitals. Jacob is a recipient of the Lorraine E. and Raymond A. Gaffney Scholarship Award. Henry William Stadler V matched in Internal Medicine at Indiana University School of Medicine. Nicholas Staler matched in Anesthesia at Indiana University School of Medicine. Nicholas is a recipient of the Student Excellence in Anesthesia Award. Paige Elizabeth Stansel matched in Pediatrics at Jefferson Medical College, DuPont Hospital. Taylor Marie Stevens matched in Neurology at Loyola University Medical Center. Catherine Stucker matched in Ophthalmology at University of Louisville School of Medicine. Kyle Matthew Stucker matched in Emergency Medicine at University of Louisville School of Medicine. James Philip Sullivan matched in Emergency Medicine at Tower Health Reading Hospital. Phoebus Suncow matched in Radiation Oncology at the State University of New York Upstate Medical Center. Kristen Marie Swanson matched in Family Medicine at the Community Hospital Network. Kristen is a recipient of the Department of Family Medicine Award. Eleni Marie Swick matched in Physical Medicine and Rehabilitation at the University of Cincinnati Medical Center. Eleni is the recipient of the Lorraine E. and Raymond A. Gaffney Scholarship Award. Clayton Taylor matched in Diagnostic Radiology at Indiana University School of Medicine. Madison Danielle Tenbarge matched in Anesthesia and Critical Care Medicine at Case Western Reserve University, University Hospitals. Sarah Tepner matched in Pediatrics at the University of Louisville School of Medicine. Katie Termini matched in Psychiatry at Vanderbilt University. Hannah Elizabeth Hamilton Thielmeyer matched in Emergency Medicine at Cleveland Clinic, Akron General. Jack Tygeson matched in Pediatrics at Indiana University School of Medicine. Jack is a recipient of the Department of Pediatrics John E. Hubei Award in Ambulatory Pediatrics. Jacob Tillman matched in Orthopedic Surgery at Indiana University School of Medicine. Alberto Mauricio Torres matched in Internal Medicine at Florida Atlantic University School of Medicine. Cody Jonathan Tragesser matched in General Surgery at Virginia Commonwealth University. Cody is a recipient of the Department of Surgery Dr. and Mrs. John N. Pittman Surgery Award. Ivana Lena Trinidad matched in Obstetrics and Gynecology at Advocate Healthcare. Alexander Wesley Truitt matched in Emergency Medicine at Christus Health. Hannah So matched in Ophthalmology at Baylor College of Medicine. Brady J. Tucker matched in Otolaryngology at the University of Kentucky Medical Center. Rosia Tursinova matched in Obstetrics and Gynecology at Wright State University Boonshoft School of Medicine. Domingo Ernesto Uceda matched in Vascular Surgery at University of Pennsylvania. Raghav Vadul matched in Ophthalmology at Ohio State University Medical Center. Juan Diego Valdez Infante matched in Emergency Medicine at Case Western Reserve University Hospitals. Tristan Jude Van Voorhees matched in Pediatrics at Emory University School of Medicine. Tristan is a recipient of the Mary Jean Yoder Memorial Award. Kevin Vega matched in general surgery at Temple University Hospitals. Adam C. Villa matched in family medicine at Kaiser Permanente, California. Christopher Michael Vincent matched in pediatrics at Southern Illinois University School of Medicine. Dana Michael Vissing matched in diagnostic radiology at Wake Forest School of Medicine. Dana is a recipient of the Student Excellence in Radiology Award. Albin Velick matched in anesthesia at Indiana University School of Medicine. Madeline Rebecca Vonderow matched in pediatrics at University of Utah Health. Brett Walker matched in internal medicine at Indiana University School of Medicine. Jesse Walker matched in neurology at University of Florida College of Medicine. Elliot Walther matched in internal medicine pediatrics at Indiana University School of Medicine. Damon Edgar Webb matched in internal medicine at Loyola University Medical Center. Kendall Leon Uyghur matched in diagnostic radiology at Mayo Clinic School of Graduate Medical Education. Jonathan Armin Wheeler matched in pediatrics at Nationwide Children's Hospital, Ohio State University. Brent James Wiederhold matched in family medicine at University of Washington Valley Medical Center. Danielle Wildrick matched in internal medicine, Spectrum Health, Michigan State University. Michael Wiley matched in internal medicine at Ohio Health Riverside Hospital. Loyal Dean Williams II matched in family medicine at Fort Wayne Medical Education Program. Reed Wilson matched in internal medicine at Indiana University School of Medicine. Andrew James Witten matched in neurological surgery at Indiana University School of Medicine. Andrew is the recipient of the Julius M. Goodman Scholarship. Lily Kathleen Wolf matched in diagnostic radiology at Indiana University School of Medicine. Joseph Edward Wolf matched in pediatrics at Indiana University School of Medicine. Jason Wong matched in pathology at Medical College of Wisconsin. Wyatt Hunter Wright matched in radiology at Indiana University School of Medicine. Weston Bradley Wright matched in neurology at Indiana University School of Medicine. Jeffrey Wirtz matched in family medicine at Indiana University School of Medicine. Hongling Chiao matched in dermatology at Indiana University School of Medicine. Hongling is the recipient of the Department of Dermatology Annual Medical Student Award. Christine Yang matched in radiation oncology at University of Southern California. Sushuma Chowdhury Yarlagadda matched in neurology at Emory University School of Medicine. Stephanie Marie Yonker matched in family medicine at Medical University, South Carolina. Jason Leone Zappia matched in urology at Indiana University School of Medicine. Kirsten Zaborek matched in cardiothoracic surgery at Indiana University School of Medicine. Francis Michael Zerilli matched in internal medicine at University of Colorado School of Medicine. This concludes our Doctor of Medicine graduates. Congratulations to the class of 2021.
A physician oath has been part of the profession of medicine for millennia, but their use became much more prevalent after World War II. The Declaration of Geneva of the World Health Organization was first developed in 1948 and has been modified several times since then. Based originally on the principles of the Hippocratic Oath, the version used by our school was last modified in 2017. Will the Doctor of Medicine graduates and all physicians with us please stand and join me in reciting the physician's oath? The oath is located on the back of your program and on this slide. Would you please recite it with me? As a member of the medical profession, I solemnly pledge to dedicate my life to the service of humanity. The health and well-being of my patient will be my first consideration. I will respect the autonomy and dignity of my patient. I will maintain the utmost respect for human life. I will not permit considerations of age, disease, or disability, creed, ethnic origin, gender, nationality, political affiliation, race, sexual orientation, social standing, or any other factor to intervene between my duty and my patient. I will respect the secrets that are confided in me even after the patient has died. I will practice my profession with conscience and dignity and in accordance with good medical practice. I will foster the honor and noble traditions of the medical profession. I will give to my teachers, colleagues, and students the respect and gratitude that is their due. I will share my medical knowledge for the benefit of the patient and the advancement of healthcare. I will attend to my own health, well-being, and abilities in order to provide care of the highest standard. I will not use my medical knowledge to violate human rights and civil liberties, even under threat. I make these promises solemnly, freely, and upon my honor. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the Indiana University School of Medicine Class of 2021.
Thank you, Dean Hess. I now want to take a moment to recognize one of our IU School of Medicine deans who is stepping down from her role this July after 30 years of service. Dr. Regina Kreisley is the Associate Dean and Director of Indiana University School of Medicine, West Lafayette. She has been and continues to be one of our student-centered leaders who significantly contributes to our educational mission at the West Lafayette campus. IU School of Medicine's one school, 9 campus structure brings incredible strength and diversity of experience. Kreisley epitomizes a devotion to education and has earned countless awards throughout the years. I invite Dr. Kreisley now to make remarks on behalf of the regional campuses.
Good afternoon. My name is Regina Kreisley, and I am honored to serve as the Associate Dean and Director of the Indiana University School of Medicine at West Lafayette. I've been asked to represent the regional campuses as we offer our congratulations to today's graduates. At the regional campuses, we often tout our small size and the ability to get to know our students on a personal level. And while we're proud of what we can offer the students in terms of medical education, Today, I'd like to focus not on what we taught them, but what they taught us. Medical education is always changing and evolving. And while as a faculty, we do our best to make adjustments to integrate new educational experiences, it is truly the students who have driven the best of these efforts. Today's graduating class is truly remarkable. Their resiliency has been extraordinary from the first days of a brand new, untried curriculum to the latter days of a global pandemic. And while we thought that our new curriculum was bigger and bolder, you made it clear in so many ways that it wasn't bold enough. So here are just a few of the things that you taught us. That learning is about engagement, not performance on exams. That standing in front of a group of students and talking at them is not teaching. That true diversity in medical school does not mean assimilation. That much of what we teach on racial differences in medicine is actually racist. That we are blind to the presence of microaggressions simply because we don't bother to look for them. That medical students cannot and should not divorce themselves from the realities outside of the classroom. That student volunteer experiences are not really extracurricular. And that the most significant experiences in medical school often take place outside of the classroom or clinic. Breaking in a new curriculum is not easy, but it is you that made the commitment that it would be a success. From student outreach clinics to vaccine clinics to White Coats for Black Lives, you have filled in the holes with a rainbow of possibilities. This is the 50th anniversary of the statewide system of medical education at IU School of Medicine. And it's because of students like you that medical education in the next 50 years will be even better. From the staff, faculty, and administration of the regional campuses, we thank you and congratulate you on all of your achievements.
I now invite Dr. Mohammed Walid Aref from the medical student class of 2021 to make comments on behalf of the class. Dr. Aref will begin his residency in surgery at the Johns Hopkins Hospital.
Within the walls of the hospital, many of our truly amazing teachers taught me how to be a doctor. But you, my friends and colleagues of the class of 2021, taught me what it means to accept my responsibility as a physician inside and outside hospital walls. What it means to care for the health of each of my patients, but also their communities. What it means to pair an unquenchable thirst for better solutions to alleviate suffering with an unyielding drive to make those same solutions equitable. What it means to carry a collective hope that we can do better for each other. You taught me that when we wear our white coats, we give our patients and our communities an implicit promise that we will do everything in our power to care for their health and their person. Thank you to the class of 2021 for giving me the opportunity not only to witness and grow from, but to stand here today and memorialize and commemorate the commitment that you have made to be more than prescribers of medicine, but to truly care for the humanity of your patients and to be hopefuls and actors in positive social change, to accept the responsibility of the white coat inside and outside the hospital. Welcome to the class of 2021, our loved ones and our mentors, all of whom without we would surely not be here today. We are the class of 2021, but we are status post the year 2020. We've been through a lot together, but we've also done a lot together. Just as our white coats brushed against each other on morning rounds as we cared for patient after patient, our white coats also brushed against each other as we marched for Black lives, demanding a better future and hoping for one for our children. And just as we stood together as we dirtied our scrubs with blood around the operating table, we also stood together as we sweat in our scrubs, serving our communities through food pantries and free clinics during the long COVID summer. And just as we mourned the loss of our patients and are more resilient for it, we also mourn the loss of loved ones and are more human for it, and the loss of a colleague to the disparities of medicine, and we are more determined for it. I want to share with you two things that you taught me about accepting the beautiful burden of the white coat and keeping our promise to our patients and our communities. The first is the power of showing up, not just to work in the morning, but to each conversation with each patient, each check-in with a colleague, each evening with family. See, in a few short weeks, you'll be drowning in work, walking down the hall to speak to a difficult patient, and you will know, I only have 5 minutes with this fine gentleman. What you taught me is this: we are and we act based upon the stories that we tell ourselves about ourselves. If I'm walking down that hall frustrated by this patient, and I tell myself this story, I'm too busy for this patient, this nurse, too busy for all of this, I'll act a certain way. But if I walk down that hall telling myself, yes, I have 5 minutes, I only have 5 minutes, but for these 5 minutes, that fine gentleman is the most important person in my life. And for these 5 minutes, I'm all in for this patient, this nurse, I'm all in for this, I'm here. It makes all the difference, and that's the power of showing up. At home, when you get there, I may be busy, but for the time that I'm here, you're not only the most important people in my life, but I'm here, I'm all in. You taught me the power of showing up, and it's hard to do, but it's powerful to live by. The second thing you taught me is stepping up to the plate, seeing a void and filling that void. I was at the student outreach clinic and I was assigning patients. That day there was a patient that we all loved dearly, but she had so much going on and the management of her illnesses was going to be long and draining. And as I was getting ready to assign the patient, some averted their gaze and some turned away, but one of you stood up and said, "Put me in, coach. Put me in, coach." Not so much to me, but to the world. Not so much because he can solve our patients' problems, but because he had hope enough to try. Put me in, coach. That's the chorus that I heard in you all from the first day I had the privilege of hearing your stories. And that's the chorus that I hear today in the class of 2021. Put me in, coach. A chorus to the world, not because we think we can solve the world's problems, and we can, but because the suffering of our brothers and sisters is worth working for and we carry enough hope to work for them. Immigrants and people of color living more difficult and shorter lives because of health disparities. Put me in, coach. Losing our mothers too early due to childbirth here and around the world. Put me in, coach. A shortage of primary care providers here and around the nation. Put me in, coach. Put me in, coach. A chorus to the world from the Indiana University School of Medicine class of 2021. We are the class of 2021, but we are status post the year 2020, and after going through COVID together, I believe we're uniquely positioned to meet the challenges of the world. We are here today to celebrate more than 2 new letters behind our names. We are here to celebrate and memorialize our individual and collective journeys of betterment, not just to enrich ourselves, but to increase our capacity to serve, not to take more, but to increase how much we can give. And today, we leave here with more than 2 new letters behind our names. If we so choose, we leave today with a burden heavier than the MCAT in Step 1, a burden heavier than AOA in a good match, the burden of the suffering of our brothers and sisters, from disease and affliction, from oppression and inequality, the burden of our patients and our communities. And if we so choose, we can leave here today with the heaviest and most beautiful burden of all, the burden of hope, that we can, should, and will do better for each other. And I can hear Amit saying, "Put me in, coach." Thank you, and congratulations.
Thank you, Dr. Arif. I now invite Dr. Jahil Patel from the PhD class of 2021 to share a few remarks.
Welcome, class of 2021, guests, and members of the faculty. As the graduate student speaker, it is an honor to represent both the master's and PhD classes of 2021 within Indiana University School of Medicine. I'd like to start off by extending collective gratitude to the friends and family who have supported the class of 2021 in their journey. It has been a difficult past few years, and I think I speak for everyone when I say that the love and support of our colleagues, friends, and family have made this past year especially more bearable. One of my supporters and cheerleaders for the past 5 years of my graduate studies, my mother, immigrated from India to the United States 20 years ago with me and my sisters. I was 8, holding a small black suitcase of family heirlooms in one hand and my mom's hand in the other. We came from the populous city of Hyderabad, where we got a great education, spoke Gujarati, Hindi, and English growing up, and lived in a lively culture full of great traditions and even greater food. When we left India for Indiana, my family and I faced our obstacles, finding safe places to live in, finding a community of people we could trust, and paving our way forward to become successful, but more importantly, kind and giving citizens of this country. And that we did. Today, I'm here in a final culmination of the highest goal my mom moved to this country for: a great education and a successful future for me and my sisters. But I don't think any of us could have ever imagined that our last year in graduate school would have gone the way it has. Hindsight is apparently 20/20, but this past year provided bizarre, unforeseen challenges that truly no one could have predicted. The virulent spread of the COVID-19 pandemic, as well as lack of resources and knowledge surrounding it, has claimed 572,000 lives and counting in the United States alone. As I speak, COVID-19 continues to devastate countries like India and Brazil. We acknowledge and remember those we lost this year to COVID-19 and otherwise. 2020 also saw marginalized communities once again rising up and fighting for justice and basic human rights. Disparities were laid bare as structural inequities resulted in these same marginalized communities being disproportionately affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. 2020 has been rough in more ways than one, but my mom has always taught me that the only way forward is to learn from what you can. The biggest lesson I have learned in 2020 is that every aspect of society is intertwined, and the smallest actions we take can have long-lasting, impactful repercussions for the world. So we better make those actions good ones. As a woman of color and a scientist, the past 5 years of my life in the IU School of Medicine PhD program have been not only an opportunity to train with experts in the field of neuroscience, but also a time to observe. To observe that learning is a lifelong process, and there is always more to learn. To observe that it matters who you surround yourself with. To observe that empathy and support towards your friends and your peers, whom the world may not treat the same as you, goes a long way. To observe that that empathy and support must move beyond social activism posts on social media to action that brings that activism to life. To observe that we as graduate students are a resilient bunch that care a whole lot about changing the world. As graduate students, many of us sacrifice time spent with our loved ones, our hobbies, or even on ourselves to instead embark upon several years consisting of a rotation of coursework, grueling long hours in the lab, grant writing, manuscript writing, lots of reading, collaborations, training on new techniques. Our innovative work pulls the research enterprise forward, and many of us, in addition to being researchers, are volunteers, teachers, mentors, and leaders within the IU School of Medicine, as well as the greater Indianapolis community. Yes, we faced obstacles, failed projects we worked on for months or even years, rejected grants and papers, imposter syndrome. These unique experiences bring us here today, to graduate with our master's or PhD degree with perseverance, strength, and knowledge in spades. You might be a little jaded at this finish line, and I wouldn't blame you for it, but we are here. We made it, thanks to our resilience, passion, energy, purpose, and probably the most relevant this past year, hope. And while we have done a lot to get here, now is when the action really starts. No matter what we studied or where we end up in the next chapter of our lives, there is one thing in common we all have, and that is the drive to better the world. And our time here at IU School of Medicine has given us the tools and the knowledge to do just that. I use what I learned to effectively communicate science and question the inequities that prevail and evolve in our society. And I strongly believe that all of our actions or inactions have ripple effects. As the experts in our respective fields, we, the class of 2021, can create the future. So the question I pose to you today is, what action will you take to change the world for your future self, your future friends, and your future family? Indira Gandhi, the first female Prime Minister of India, once said, "Tolerance and compassion are active, not passive states, born of the capacity to listen, to observe, and to respect others. Social change is brought about by those who dare and act, who can think unconventionally, and who can court unpopularity." To everyone graduating today, to people of color, women, immigrants, people with disabilities, and the members of the LGBTQ+ community, or whatever your background is, let's pull up our chair and take a seat at the table. And to those already seated at the table, hold out a chair Bring the others in. It is our collective responsibility to not only better this world, but to pull others up with us. And this past year has made this urgently clear. This past year also gives me hope that the future will be brighter and better, that all of us will be a part of and hopefully lead with kindness and compassion. With that, I want to congratulate the class of 2021. Our degrees are our tools to change the course of history and to create our future. As my 4-year-old nephew says too often, come on, let's go. I wish you all the success, laughter, and joy as you move into the next stage of your lives. Congratulations again, and thank you very much.
Class of 2021, please accept my very best wishes for a life filled with purpose, humility, meaning, fulfillment, and the sense of making a personal, positive difference in the lives of others every day. As we approach the conclusion of this ceremony, I would like to share a few closing thoughts. As a community of scholars and learners, faculty and students, we arrive at this day together with great pride. We are confident that you are well prepared to go into your communities as leaders and healers, as graduates of IU School of Medicine. As you move on to the next phase of your life and your career, I ask you to commit yourselves to the highest professional and ethical standards, to render each person the dignity that is rightfully theirs, to be compassionate to those in need, and to remember with pride the Indiana University School of Medicine, as we proudly will remember you.